guys, what's up? How are you? I hope you're all doing good and welcome to another video. Wow, what I'm wearing really doesn't fit together. Anyways, I'm cold so I don't really care. I'm back with another video today in my bed because I'm not gonna practice today. I'm just gonna talk and explain how to set up a training program because a lot of people were asking for this, so I basically just decided to do it and I wrote it down. I have like 6 tips for how to set up a training program, and I also have a little example for a program. So yeah, as I mentioned, today is gonna be a talking video, so if you're not interested in that, just don't watch it, okay? But if you want to know what you can do better in your training, maybe you're a little bit stuck and you don't really know what to do, then I think it could be the right video for you. So let's start. How to set up a training program. I'm also gonna insert a screenshot of this right here, so then you can take a screenshot now and then you have the whole paper on your phone. Okay, so first point. You have to decide how much time you want to invest in your training. That's different for everybody. Maybe you're super busy and you also do other sports, so you only have like 20 minutes a day to invest in your handstand training, or you have only 10 minutes 3 times a week. I don't know. Or you actually have a lot of time. You have to decide how much time do you want to invest in your training. I have the example 1 hour. It's just an example. Maybe it's 1.5 hours, maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 10 minutes, as I said. That's the first point. Then you have the time, how much you can train. Then the second point, think about your strengths and your weaknesses, because maybe you're very strong but you're not really flexible, so obviously you have to work more on your flexibility. Or you are flexible but not really strong, so maybe you have to invest more time in strength exercises. So that's also another thing to think about before you can actually write down your program. Then point number 3, write down a rough outline. So how I would recommend it: first section, warm-up flexibility, second section, handstand training, and then third section, your strength training. But that's also super personal, because maybe you can't even put together warm-up and flexibility, because maybe for your warm-up you go for a run or whatever, which I wouldn't do. My warm-up is basically flexibility work. So that's also something you have to think about. But a good warm-up and good flexibility work before your training, in my opinion, is very important. The more flexible you are, the easier the handstand training. So it's important that you stretch before your training. Also think about, I don't know if you only train handstands or other things, because if you maybe anyways work out later in the day and do some strength training, then you don't have to do it right after your training. Then it maybe comes later in the day. Yeah, I think it's very difficult to make like a program that fits for everyone. Okay, next point. You have to think about how long you want to invest in your warm-up, in your handstand training itself, and in the strengths. So let's say you have a 1 hour training. Maybe you do 20 minutes warm-up flexibility, 30 minutes handstands, and then 10 minutes of strength. This is an example. Me, I'm like training around 4 hours, let's say, maybe sometimes a bit less. I do 1 hour flexibility in the morning, I do 2.5 hours handstands, and then I do some strengths. It's just my routine. I repeat. And I come to this later, but it's boring sometimes. But that's handstands. Handstands is boring because there's not so much you can do. You can stand on your hands and do some variations, but that's it. Like, actually, it's a boring sport, but there's so much you can work on, which makes it interesting again. Okay, back to the topic. Okay, you have the rough outline, you have the time, how much in every section, and then you have to fill the sections with exercises and reps. It's important that you don't just do one trick and then you go to the other trick and then back to the other trick. You have to stick to one exercise and repeat it, maybe 5 to 10 times. And then you can go to the next trick. Because imagine you maybe do a jumping to tuck and the next time you do a jumping to straddle, and your body is confused because you give him a lot of different exercises, but he can't really process it. So give your body some time. Be gentle to your body. He has to process it, so do the tuck jump a few times in a row. And you will see you will get more solid and more stable, and it will get easier. And also in the long term, it's very important because your body remembers to move better. And then you go to the next exercise. I don't know your level. I don't know if you can already stand a free handstand or if you're already working on one arm or whatever, but let's say you are a beginner. Start at the wall, do some kick up handstands back to the wall and hold it for a bit, change legs. I have a lot of exercises for beginners, for more advanced people in my other videos, so check it out. I don't want to go through all the exercises now. I actually found my old training program from October 2018. It's when I started in the school in Kiev, and it looked like this, like first hold a handstand on time. That's also a good thing to start, like hold your handstand on time, and you will see with the time you can hold it longer. And then I had to do 3 times, like tuck, straight, 3 times. And all this 5 times. So 5 times, 3 times, tuck, straight, if you understand what I mean. And then I did some side bending. And then I did some fingertip holds. And I think I did everything 5 times. But if you're a beginner, start on the wall and do some exercises maybe 3 times. Change exercises 3 times. Stuff like that. Of course, if it's still like too complicated to understand for you how many reps and stuff and which exercises you should do, then you maybe need a coach. I'm teaching, by the way. But I think you get what I mean. And then tip number 6, it's already the last tip, but I wrote down some things to think about and also some mistakes to avoid, because let me explain you. So first of all, your program should change after a few weeks. You probably got stronger, like you progressed, so you have to update your program so you don't get stuck at a certain level. Like you want to progress, so you have to also update your program so you can progress. So maybe you have to add some reps or more difficult exercises and stuff. And then this is for me a very, very important thing. Like, yes, the training program is awesome, it's like a guide and you don't feel so lost, but don't get upset if one day you can't go through your program. Think about it. You won't be at the same physical and mental state every single day. Some days you feel weak. Some days you may be a little bit upset or sad or whatever. And it has an effect on your training and on your body. So just don't get upset if one day you can't go through the whole program. Just be proud that you tried and that you did something, because it's always good to do something instead of nothing. There will be better days again. I've been there. I was so upset when I stopped training early just because my body just couldn't do it anymore. And I thought like I failed. But it's not that. I still progressed and my body maybe needed some time to rest. And the next day it was better again. Be gentle to yourself and be kind to yourself. And yes, pushing yourself is good and trying to do it is good, but if you really feel like it doesn't work today, it's okay. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's important that you stay healthy. And the last point, it might happen that you get bored, because a program like this, it's repetitive and it's always the same, and it's normal that you get bored eventually. But you still have to do it. Like, you have to repeat. It's the only way that you'll learn hand balancing, because it's so much detail work and stuff, so you have to repeat it. But if you can't change the exercises because you know you have to do them, change your surrounding. So what I mean with that is train at different places. I know right now it's hard, but even if you maybe go to another part of the room, sometimes it helps. Maybe you can train with some different people. Like, sometimes it's even helpful to be in the same room with people, although they don't do hand balancing. Like, sometimes I will go to my parents and I train there. And it's just nice because it's a different surrounding, and sometimes we can talk, and it makes it easier to follow the program. And also, of course, music and changing your outfits. It's always important for the motivation, because the training program is boring. Like, I have to say it like this. Of course, like, sometimes it's good to have trainings where you just do whatever you want, but these are most likely not the trainings where you focus so much on technique and progress. So it's very important that you follow a program where you know you will progress, because it's focused on technique and stuff like that. Yeah, these are my tips. I know it's still very general, but as I said, it's like super hard to find a program that fits everyone. But yeah, that's how I learned, that's how I became who I am today. Still have a lot of stuff to work on, and I still like follow kind of a program. It's not as strict anymore, but it's still like a rough outline of a program. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you liked it, and I hope it's also understandable. Take a screenshot of the program if you want. Have fun training and you will progress. I know it. See you in my next video. Bye bye.